Welcome back to the Global Spiritual Revolution Radio. Here's your host, Bishop Larry Gators.
Thank you so much, my brother Andrew. 609-614-3801. Again, beloved, 609-614-3801. Welcome back to the Life Radio Network, 92.9 FM, 1460 AM here in New York City, New York, with your host and moderator tonight, Bishop Larry Gators, for part 2 of Global Spiritual Revolution Radio here in New York City, New York. What a power-packed first hour with a dear friend of mine, the Honorable Pastor Dr. Carl Gallups. He will be with us every fourth Thursday of each month, God willing, each and every month, here on Global Spiritual Revolution Radio as we continue the series of his brand new book. Actually, it's not new. Correction, it came out in 2016, but it's new as far as in the God series, entitled The Gods of the Kingdom, The Gods of the Kingdom. And he's going to be back with us on the fourth Thursday in February. I want to examine, and with my political and spiritual analysis concerning the chronology, the timeline of why we are where we are with this impeachment scam, okay? Because we know right now the Senate is in the trial section, right, of the impeachment process, and it's going to be over within the next few weeks. President Trump would be exonerated, and what the Democrats are doing, they are writing their own political death warrant. But let's really go back, because you never heard the bishop before here on the Life Radio Network, 92.9 FM, 1460 AM, talk about the impeachment process in depth. In 25 years of radio, I've never seen anything like this that I'm seeing now. Let's go back to 2016, all right? Now, God rest his soul, Senator John McCain received a dossier, okay, from a high-ranking British government person. John McCain was in Canada for a conference back in 2016. And John McCain had received this salacious dossier that was compiled, written by ex-British MI6 agent Christopher Steele. Now, one might ask, who is Christopher Steele? Christopher Steele is a former MI6 agent there in London, England. The MI6 agency is the British equivalent of the American CIA. Now, if you go on the website, Orbis, as capital ORBISBI, orbisbi.com, Orbisbi, capital ORBISBI.com. And it will show you in great detail that the Orbis Business Intelligence Limited Group that was founded in 2009 by former British MI6 agent Christopher Steele, along with Christopher Burrows, who is the director and joint founder of this MI6 front, because that's all Orbis is. Orbis is a MI6 front, okay? So then to understand, beloved, what's going on in the impeachment process of our great president, okay, which is nothing but a sham. And all the major players from the left who are involved in this scam are part of what we call the deep state. So we go back in this timeline, beginning in 2016. And again, God rest his soul, Senator John McCain, who was not a great fan of our great president. And so John McCain, God rest his soul, who really passed away as a bitter man, okay, tried to bring down the president of the United States. Actually, President Trump was just an American natural citizen, okay, back in 2016, during the 2016 presidential campaign. So then John McCain got a copy of this dossier, okay, from a high-ranking British official that is not named for some reason. That name is classified, okay? So then, John McCain, and also he, along with John McCain, is a man by the name of David Kramer. Now, David Kramer, in his days at the State Department, is an expert on Russian affairs. So then David Kramer worked within the McCain Institute for International Leadership back in 2016. So then this dossier compiled by former MI6 agent Christopher Steele, okay? Now, the question we have to ask ourselves, who hired Christopher Steele? Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, okay, hired, okay, a company in Washington, D.C. by the name of Fusion GPS, okay? Now, you can go to the website at www.fusiongps.com, Fusion, Fusion, GPS.com, and hired this company, Fusion GPS. So then, from Senator John McCain getting the dossier from a high-ranking British unnamed agent at a conference in Canada back in early 2016, during the 2016 presidential election, okay? So then, John McCain, and I'm not bashing John McCain. I want all of our listeners, I know a lot of you revered John McCain and respected him, but listen, you have to understand, beloved, that every conservative is a Republican, but not every Republican is a fiscal conservative. You see what I mean? President Donald J. Trump is a true conservative. He's pro-America. Former Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, a sellout, was only a Republican by name, but he was not a fiscal conservative, okay, by political law. You see, because people like John McCain, who was a Republican but not a conservative, because John McCain voted against the abolishment of Obamacare. Why? Because he had bitterness against the president. And I'm not bashing John McCain, but John McCain voted against the abolishment, okay, of Obamacare. Obamacare is nothing but a socialized form of medicine that is killing the American people. But John McCain was a supporter of Obamacare and voted to keep Obamacare in power, enacted. Why? Because he had a personal vendetta against the president. Another topic for another time. So going back in 2016, John McCain receives a dossier, something that was unsubstantiated and unproven, lies. And I'm not even going into the filthy details of the dossier, which is nothing but lies. So then John McCain had close ties to both Fusion GPS in Washington, D.C., and to the Oberst Business Intelligence Limited Group in London, England. So then John McCain, who lost against Barack Obama in the 2008 presidential election, had a vendetta against President Trump, then Donald J. Trump. So let's follow this timeline. 2016, John McCain receives a dossier from a high-ranking British agent at a conference in Canada. Does John McCain take that dossier to Donald Trump into his campaign? No. John McCain took it to the FBI. To who? To James Comey. James Comey, who is a deep state, still is a deep state operative, took that dossier to Donald Trump? No. James Comey, along with John Brennan, a devil, former director of the CIA, John Brennan, and James Clapper, another devil, former director of national intelligence, all went to President Obama and former Vice President Joe Crazy Biden. So this unproven, unsubstantiated document was taken to President Trump and Vice President Biden through a high-ranking British agent, unnamed, through the hands of John McCain, through the hands of James Comey, including Andrew McCabe, and through the hands of John Brennan, former director of the CIA, through the hands of James Clapper, former director of national intelligence, overseeing the intelligence community of the United States of America, and went to President Obama and Vice President Biden with a salacious, unsubstantiated dossier which was built on lies. Vladimir Putin had said that he never met Christopher Steele. Vladimir Putin said he has never met Donald J. Trump, but yet the left is still trying to push a Russian collusion narrative. So then to understand what's going on now, I'm going to take you back to the beginning. 2016, John McCain, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, okay? John Brennan, James Clapper, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, whose son is so up to his neck in this Ukrainian mess. So they took this dossier, these members of the deep state took it to former President Barack Obama, which proved as the template and the basis to gain a FISA warrant based on a salacious lie about Donald J. Trump. So now somebody said, well, Bishop, what is the FISA court? Well, the term FISA means Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act is actually a classified court, okay, that was created through law enacted by Congress October 25th, 1978, that would establish legal procedures for the physical and electronic surveillance or spying and collection of foreign, not domestic now, foreign intelligence information between foreign powers and agents of foreign, not domestic, foreign powers suspected of espionage or terrorism. Wait a minute. So why was Donald J. Trump spied on by the Obama administration? See, beloved, this is the reason why we're here. This fake FISA warrant, this fake dossier, beloved, that went through the hands of John McCain, who was a deep state operative, and John McCain sold weapons on the black market to Al-Qaeda and to the Taliban, documented. And so from John McCain to James Comey, to Andrew McCabe, to John Brennan, to James Clapper, to Barack Obama, to Joe Biden, to the FISA court. So then, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act of 1978 was not designed to spy on an American citizen. Beloved, it was designed to spy on possible spies and agents provocateurs of foreign powers who may be responsible for foreign espionage and terrorism. That doesn't fit Donald Trump. So what happened, beloved? The FBI weaponized itself. And now somebody may say, Bishop, you sound upset. I am. See, the FBI weaponized itself through James Comey because of John McCain's bitterness against the president, because of the unsubstantiated dossier that was leaked to the press through who? BuzzFeed, really. And given to Barack Obama and Joe Biden. What did Barack Obama do? Throw it in the trash can? No. Barack Obama green-lighted. Barack Obama was the only person that had the authority to green-light a FISA warrant. He was the only one that had the authority to send that document through the White House attorneys to the FISA court. And the question is, what was on that warrant, what was on that dossier that was so damaging that it forced the FISA court, the Foreign Intelligence Service Surveillance Court, to spy on Donald Trump at Trump Tower? Lies. Now, the question is, who hired this Orbis intelligence service out of London, England? Well, let's go back a little bit. So then when John McCain gets his dossier, sends it to the FBI sends it to Barack Obama through the hands of James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, Andrew McCabe, to Barack Obama, to Joe Sleepy Creepy Biden. Then James Comey doesn't alert Donald Trump. James Comey and the FBI, including Hillary Clinton, hired both Fusion GPS out of Washington, D.C., and hired Christopher Steele, a former MI6 agent of the Orbis Business Intelligence Limited in London, England. 609-614-3801. So then Fusion GPS was hired by James Comey, the FBI. Why would the FBI hire Fusion GPS, who hired a foreign power, a foreign entity of the Oberst Business Intelligence Limited, to spy on American citizens? That is against the law, beloved. This is righteous indignation. To spy on an American citizen. And those of you who love Barack Obama hated the United States of America. Barack Obama wanted to destroy America. See, I'm one of the few radio talk show hosts who has the temerity to speak it like it is. So to understand what's going on now, we have to go back to the beginning, before the beginning was, with this dossier, 609-614-3801. Continue to send in your questions. I'm going to get to some of them. You had a lot of questions for Dr. Gallup, so we will get to them next month when it comes back on the air. I may get to some of your questions concerning what I'm talking about now, okay, concerning this impeachment sham. This is the manifestation of what went on 3 years ago. This dossier, handed by a high-ranking British agent to John McCain, took it to the FBI, took it to James Comey, took it to Andrew McCabe, took it to John Brennan, took it to James Clapper, took it to Barack Obama and Joe Sleepy Creepy Biden. And before they sent that document, that salacious, filthy dossier of lies on the president. James Comey, through the FBI, hires Fusion GPS. Wait a minute. An American governmental department hires not only a local spy agency, the Fusion GPS, but they hire a international spy agency, and that's what OBRIS is. It's the MI6 front, OBRIS Business Intelligence Limited. For what? To spy on an American citizen? Somebody has to go to jail for this. Now the question is, my friend, who are the attorneys for Fusion GPS? Who are the attorneys for James Comey, Andrew McCabe, okay, John Brennan, James Clapper? Who is Barack Obama's attorney? Who is Joe Biden's attorney? That law firm is called Perkins Coie, capital C-O-I-E. Their website, beloved, is www.perkinscoie.com. Perkins Coie, C-O-I-E, one word, .com. That was founded in 1912. So then Perkins Coie is a powerful legal law firm out of Seattle, Washington, that represents Hillary Clinton in the Clinton political machine, that represents deep state operatives on the left. Perkins Coie, who legally represented both Fusion GPS and Christopher Steele. Wait a minute. Why would a foreign British agent hire an American legal firm like Perkins Coie? Because Perkins Coie is a deep state operative law firm. So then, beloved, these are the tentacles. This is the ley lines that brought us here today. We're not done yet. 609-614-3801. High-level British agent, unnamed, gives that dossier that is unproven, untested, unsubstantiated document of lies about the president, about Donald J. Trump, to, God rest his soul, John McCain. McCain takes it to the FBI, to James Comey, to Andrew McCabe, okay? And the entire FBI weaponized this dossier against Donald J. Trump, and they're still trying to do that. The FBI, which was never created to be a political entity, became political in the 2016 election. So then, through Andrew McCabe, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, John Brennan, James Clapper, Barack Obama, Joe Sleepy Creeping Biden, through the law firm of Perkins Coie, takes that dossier to the FISA court in 2016 to get a warrant based on a unsubstantiated dossier that was filled with lies and holes about the president, then just a regular American citizen, Donald J. Trump. And through this FISA warrant, Barack Obama, that many Americans love and revere, who is nothing but a devil himself, got the FISA court to start the process to have a warrant to spy on Donald J. Trump. Now we go from that point, then we go to the Russian hoax. Donald J. Trump has never been to Moscow. Donald J. Trump has never met Vladimir Putin. Why won't James Comey, when James Comey was the director of the FBI, why didn't he send Hillary Clinton to prison? Not only because of the 33,000 emails, not only because of Benghazi, her and her boss Barack Obama had those men slaughtered. because they were told to stand down 3 times. Why isn't Hillary Clinton in prison? Because she sold uranium to the Russians. Weaponized uranium, which Vladimir Putin has the ability to make another hydrogen or atomic bomb. Wait a minute, why isn't Hillary Clinton in jail? But yet they want to try to indict our great president. A lot of you are sending questions right now. Listen, I'm going to get to your questions in a few minutes. 609-614-3801. Now, people say, Bishop, what does that got to do with what's going on? This is the reason why we are where we are now. Then from the FISA warrant, spying on the Russian campaign, spying on Carter Page, who was a Trump associate, spying on the Trump campaign in order to take down Donald Trump, because they never expected Donald Trump to win. They thought Hillary was going to win. And so then from the Russian hoax, then when Donald Trump gets elected, the deep state operatives hire Robert Mueller. Now, I want all of you right now, I want you to listen to what I'm about to say, because what you're hearing today is going to blow your mind. And yes, don't listen to the fake news of the crack news network, CNN. Don't listen to NBC, CNBC, MSNBC. Don't listen to the fake news of the New York Times and Yahoo News. That's fake news. So the deep state operatives hired a former director of the FBI, Robert Mueller. Now, what I'm about to say, it's not substantiated. There are rumors, and I don't go by rumors, I go by facts, that Robert Mueller, his grandfather or his great-grandfather, was involved with the Third Reich during World War II. That cannot be substantiated. But let's stick to the facts. That Robert Mueller is hired by the deep state, what we call the Robert Mueller investigation, the Mueller report, which took, almost 3 years to compile. So then Robert Mueller was a tool of manipulation by the deep state to try to bring down President Trump in the Trump administration, which it did not happen because President Trump did nothing wrong. And so Robert Mueller appears before the Congress and in the Senate Oversight Committee to give a report on the Mueller report because Adam Shifty Schiff, Nancy Jezebel Pelosi, is not satisfied with the results in the analysis of the Mueller report. And then Robert Mueller speaks before the Senate, speaks before the Congress. He says, according to my opinion, I believe that President Trump did something wrong. Well, if that's the case, why wasn't that in your report? Because President Trump did nothing wrong. Now, somebody said, Bishop, you sound upset. Yes, I am. It's called righteous indignation, my friend. So Robert Mueller was castigated as a sellout by the left because Robert Mueller did not bring the results that the left wanted. Now, from the Russian investigation, you had the Ukrainian investigation. Now, again, President Trump did nothing wrong. President Trump did nothing wrong. There was no quid pro quo. President Trump said to President Zelensky of the Ukraine, I am going to give you the necessary military equipment and money, which was not upheld. Okay? The only thing President Trump wanted, and he has a right to do it by law as president, was to find out about Joe Biden and his son, Hunter Biden. What is Hunter Biden getting millions of dollars through these Ukrainian companies, millions of dollars through Chinese companies, and he doesn't have an ounce of experience. 609-614-3801. 609-614-3801. Hunter Biden, okay, founded the Rosemont Seneca Partners, an international law firm, but which is also an international consulting firm back in 2009. Hunter Biden served on the board of Burisma Holdings. The Ukrainian government is so corrupt and has been corrupt since the end of World War II. We know that. So Joe Biden is covering this up. His son is covering this up. But the house of cards is coming down, beloved. Listen, 609-614-3801. So then, President Donald J. Trump is accused by the so-called witnesses that appeared during the congressional inquiry investigation. And the so-called witnesses were second, third-hand information, but they themselves was not there in the meeting. See, lies again. You couldn't beat him at the ballot box. You couldn't beat him in the Russian hoax. Now you're going to bring up the Ukrainian hoax. Hunter Biden needs to go to jail. Hunter Biden, and again, all of you, what I'm about to say is the gospel truth. Vice President Joe Biden, Vice President Joe Biden said on a video, if the Ukrainian Attorney General did not drop the case against his son, the Ukrainian government would not be getting those millions of dollars. He said that on a video. And the legal case against his son was dropped. That's corruption, my friend. But you got Joe Biden sitting up there lying, and the other day Joe Biden spoke in a black church and talks about the KKK. Listen, I am so sick and tired of the left using black people, speaking to black people as if they are stupid. Every time a Democrat goes to a black church, they bring up the KKK. And mind you, the Republican Party never created the KKK. It was the Democratic Party. Beloved, do you know who created the Jim Crow laws? After Reconstruction, right after the Civil War in 1865. So Reconstruction lasted from 1865 to 1877. And after Reconstruction, the Jim Crow laws were enacted in the Democratic South. The Democratic Party created the Jim Crow system. See, the Republican Party had nothing to do with the Jim Crow system. It was the Democratic Party. The first person in history to coin the term white supremacy was Lyndon Baines Johnson, a Democrat president. In 1965, he coined the term white supremacy, a left-wing Democrat. But yet they want to accuse us as Republicans of being white supremacists. That's garbage. The Bible says my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Now through the Ukraine hoax, President Trump never upheld aid or any type of military aid to the Zelensky administration in Ukraine or to the Ukrainian government. He never did that. The Ukrainian president said there was no quid pro quo, no play for pay. There was none of that stuff. Vladimir Zelensky, the present-day president of the Ukraine, is cleaning up the government of the Ukraine by excommunicating corrupt officials. Do you understand, beloved, that Nancy Pelosi's son, Lord Jesus, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this. Nancy Pelosi's son is heavily involved in Ukrainian gas. Paul Pelosi Jr. is up to his neck in this Ukrainian corruption scandal. Nancy Pelosi's son, Paul Pelosi Jr., who visited Ukraine in 1917 to meet with government officials in connection to the gas and oil industries there in Ukraine. But where is the son of Nancy Pelosi? Why didn't he appear before the Congress during the inquiries? Why isn't Paul Pelosi Jr. appearing before the Senate? It's all lies, beloved. So we go from John McCain, James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, Andrew McCabe, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Fusion GPS, Obrist, the Obrist Intelligence Limited, Christopher Steele, Hillary Clinton. They're all complicit in this conspiracy to remove a duly elected president. So Nancy Pelosi's son, Paul Pelosi Jr., is up in his neck in this Ukrainian corruption. 609-614-3801. Again, beloved, quickly, 609-614-3801. I'm going to get to your questions in the next 5 to 7 minutes if we have time here on Global Spiritual Revolution Radio. So back to the timeline. Now here comes the articles of impeachment, all based upon a lie going back to John McCain, dossier, FBI, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, FISA, GPS, Christopher Steele, Obrist Intelligence Limited, all built on a schematical structure of lies, backed by the legal law firm of Perkins Coie in Seattle, Washington. That's the attorneys for Hillary Clinton, Perkins Coie. When Hillary Clinton was involved in this Benghazi mess, who represented her? Perkins Coie. Perkins Coie is one of the most corrupt law firms in this country. Perkins Coie represents the Democratic National Committee and the Democratic Leadership Council and the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. And they also represent the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. They represent John Kerry, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Robert Bauer, Mark Elias. Perkins Coie also represented Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, Lord Jesus. So I'm telling you, listen, all of you right now, I cannot wait for Tuesday's broadcast. Each and every Tuesday, I am on the Crowdsource the Truth broadcast on YouTube, each and every Tuesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a good friend of mine, Mr. Jason Goodman. He is the host, and I'm going to be starting this series on this conspiracy that started with John McCain. I am sorry. Listen, God rest his soul. I am not bashing on the McCain family. But listen, we have to follow the money, follow this paper trail that started with this high-ranking British agent, more likely with MI5 and MI6, giving this dossier to who? To John McCain. And John McCain giving it to the FBI, and the FBI giving it to the Obama administration, and the Obama administration hiring the law firm of Perkins Coie to hire GPS, Fusion GPS, and Christopher Steele, a former MI6 agent out of London. Now, somebody said, we get some emails, who and what is Fusion GPS? Great question. Fusion GPS was founded in 2011. Fusion GPS was founded in 2011 by a man by the name of Glenn R. Simpson. His family has close ties to the Central Intelligence Agency. Glenn Richard Simpson, born April 22nd, 1964, is a former journalist with the Wall Street Journal. He worked for it up until, I believe, in 2009. He was also a senior fellow at the International Assessment and Strategy Center, had created this, what I call this political spy agency called Fusion GPS. Do you understand, beloved, that Fusion GPS, which hired on retainer Perkins Coie to represent them not only in this Russian dossier mess, but Perkins Coie also was the law firm that was constantly trying to protect the Clinton administration, going back to the 90s, that's protecting Bill and Hillary Clinton, that also represented Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I've got to say this as well because we're getting a lot of questions coming in. So then, now remember, during the Supreme Court Justice hearings, I believe, Donald Trump had nominated, I believe, one of the most brilliant legal minds, that would occupy the Supreme Court of the United States of America, okay? And just Brett Kavanaugh is one of the greatest legal minds in America. So then Brett Kavanaugh, a true patriot, was almost destroyed because of a lie from the left, okay? And to our callers, and also to those of you who are sending questions, I know, listen, just give me a couple minutes. I'm going to get to your questions here, okay? So then you have to understand that this woman that was accusing Brett Kavanaugh, okay, and again, I am not bashing women, and I want you guys to hear me today. What I'm doing, my assignment is to expose the root as to why that we are in this impeachment scam in the first place, okay? So then here is a woman who is heavily tied to Fusion GPS, and this woman that was actually used by the left. And let me tell you something about the left. The left doesn't care. The left doesn't care about the safety of women. The left doesn't care about the safety of not only women, but children and babies in the American families. The left doesn't care about that. The left, all the left wants to do is to use, and again, let me preface that, is to use people in order to destroy a duly elected president, that's Donald J. Trump. And you got Senator Dianne Feinstein, and she was covering up for the fact, okay, that this woman that was accusing Brett Kavanaugh of rape was built on a lie. So my question is here, as we're exposing the root as to why that we're in this situation right now, with President Trump being brought to the Senate trial because of a lie, okay, from the deep state operatives, a lie. This woman, and again, when I say this woman, I'm not disrespecting women, but there are women who have been abused and raped, okay? And they should have a day in court. I believe it, listen, if Brett Kavanaugh did that, he should have been sent to prison. Absolutely. But he didn't do it. So then this Christine Blasey Ford, ladies and gentlemen, Christine Blasey Ford, a professor, I believe, out of Stanford. Her father worked for the CIA. And her father worked in the same building that Fusion GPS occupies now. Her father worked in the same building that Fusion GPS is now occupying in Washington, D.C. So guess who legally represented Christine Blasey Ford? Perkins Coie out of Seattle, Washington, the same law firm that represents the Clintons, that represents the Obamas, that represents the Bidens, that represented Jeffrey Epstein, that represents Christopher Steele, a foreign agent, that represents Fusion GPS. So Christine Blasey Ford was used as a tool of the deep state, and thereby the Me Too women's movement has now been weaponized to destroy all men. 609-614-3801. What I'm doing, what the bishop is doing, is taking you back to the origin as to why we are where we are right now. And now we are in the Senate trial. And isn't it interesting, beloved? Oh, my God. I wish I had another hour tonight. And again, what I said about Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, I'm not bashing women, but she was used. I believe something happened to her, but it was not from Brett Kavanaugh. She didn't remember how she got to the party. She didn't remember who took her home, but yet she can identify Brett Kavanaugh as the raper. The devil is a lie. So that fails. So the Russian hoax fails. Christine Blasey fails. Okay? That hoax. Now you got the Ukrainian hoax. So the case from Adam Shifty Shift and the left is falling apart. I'm going to say this. There is and I'm going to expose Adam Schiff. Go to a website right now called Little Kids, Liddle Kids, KIDZ. Little Kids is a foundation out of California. Go to Little Kids, and it's an organization that practices, get this, they practice massaging of children. Pediatric massaging. Sounds like pizza. You understand this is, beloved, guess who sits on the board of Little Kids? Adam Schiff. So the entire left, as Pastor Gallup said, is so corrupt. It's so demonic. Let me get to some of the questions here. Oh, my God. First question is from Sally. She is from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Her question is, or she has a two-pronged question. Number one, thank you, Bishop, for revealing the truth, and thank God for President Donald J. Trump. Her question is concerning Christine Blasey Ford. Should she go to jail for lying to the Senate? Should she go to jail? Well, let me tell you something. She was used by the left. That's all. Kamala Harris got to where she was because of corruption. They didn't care about the evidence. Even before Brett Kavanaugh appeared before the Senate, he was already guilty in the minds of the left. Didn't want to look at the evidence. And she said it because she's a woman, which means she's telling the truth. He's guilty. Now, mind you, every woman, listen, every one of you sisters out there who's been violated, yes, you got to take that man to court. He should go to prison without a doubt, without question. But you cannot send a man to prison. You cannot find 100th man guilty because of the innocent. You cannot send the 100th man to jail because, okay, the innocent man to jail because of the previous 99 who were guilty. Beloved, it's corrupt. So now we have this Senate trial. And this is the reason why I wanted to take you going back to 3 years. John McCain, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, John Brennan, James Clapper, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, FISA, Fusion GPS, Glenn R. Simpson, Christopher Steele, MI6. Okay? I wanted to take you through this ley line, okay, that brought us to where we are right now. And the Bible tells me as we close out tonight that no weapon that is formed against us shall prosper. Listen, no weapon that is formed against President Donald J. Trump shall prosper. No weapon. So the MI6 want to take down the president. Okay? Rogue elements within the CIA, but it's not going to work. And this is the reason why we are where we are now. There's more tentacles and ley lines that maybe next week or the following week I can get into. It goes deeper, beloved. Okay? This is the reason why Hillary Clinton should be in prison. Her husband should be in prison, okay? Somebody in the White House, during the somebody in the Obama administration, should be in prison because they green-lighted legal documents which were never substantiated and never proven to be true, all built on lies, taken to the FISA court as a pretext to get a warrant from the Foreign Intelligence Service Act, or FISA, to spy on an American citizen. And so then that didn't work. The Mueller report wasn't satisfied to the left, okay? Now the Ukrainian hoax. And these devils from the left are not going to stop, beloved. Now the Democratic Party has been hijacked by members of the squad, okay? The squad. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who shut down the Amazon deal. There should be 30,000 jobs right now in Long Island, but she shut it down. Why? She doesn't want the state, she doesn't want New Yorkers to be prosperous financially. She wants New Yorkers to stay on welfare. Oh, yeah. She wants New Yorkers to stay on welfare. So she said the reason why I shut down the Amazon deal because it would have cost the taxpayer money. That's garbage. Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar married her brother to get into this country. Did you know that? Oh, my God. She married her brother to get into this country. Ayanna Pressley, Rashida Tlaib, all of them have taken over the Democratic Party. I'm going to leave it there tonight. Listen, I'll get to your questions next week. God willing, maybe I want to continue this thing as a series on next week. Listen, we need your financial help. Send what you can, please. Whether it's $100, $200, we need your finances right now. We need someone to get $200 right now, $300, $500 right now for the furtherance of this global ministry called Global Spiritual Revolution Radio. I almost said End Time Age Deliverance Ministry. That's the ministry part. But please give right now at paypal.me/GSRR Media Group. Again, beloved, paypal.me/GSRR Media Group. When you give unto the Lord, He will give you more to give. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over shall men give into your bosom. Please, right now, give at least $200 right now to Global Spiritual Revolution Radio so we can move on to the next level, and God will multiply your blessings in the name of the Lord. Okay, God bless you. We will see you next week, and I also got some good news. Dr. Michael Brown will be back on Global Spiritual Revolution Radio March the 19th. He'll be back on. Kanye West is coming on. Praise God, he's coming on Global Spiritual Revolution Radio in March. We're going to have Candace Owens coming on. Praise God, in April. So we got some heavy hitters upcoming. Praise God. Come right now to the table of the Lord here on Global Spiritual Revolution Radio, and God will bless you. We see you next week. In Jesus' mighty name.
This is Life Radio WIFI 92.9 FM, 1460 AM, and heard around the world at LifeRadioNJ.com. Burlington, Florence.
Fox News, I'm Jane Metzler.
The last 5 hours, it's been a lot about Joe Biden and Burisma.
President Trump's lead lawyer, Jay Sekulow, making the case to call Hunter and Joe Biden to testify at the president's Senate trial. Democrats still calling for testimony from John Bolton, Mick Mulvaney, and other officials. They also want relevant documents turned over by the White House. China now confirms 830 cases of a new coronavirus.